Hello fellow weirdos on the internet. I am Torstein from CinemaTerror, and this marks the very first time I've experienced the 1988 horror comedy Brain Damage. And wow, was this something completely different and unique. Join me for the next few minutes as I enter the insane and fun world of filmmaker Frank Henenlotter and talk about Brain Damage.
Come to me.
Brain damage. It will turn you inside out.
Meet Brian, a normal young guy living together with his brother in an apartment in New York. One day he wakes up with a weird creature attached to his body. It looks like a mixture of a penis and a brain, and it has the ability to not only speak, but also inject Brian with a psychedelic drug that are unlike anything else you could ever experience. That all sounds sweet and fine, right? Well, there's just one problem. The little guy, named Elmer by the way, also has an addiction: human brains. Yeah, he craves after warm, bloody brains, and not any kind of brains, as he has exquisite taste after all. It has to come from human beings. Brian has to make the potential deadly choice of going clean from Elmer's toxicating juices, or accept that he will become responsible for an unheard of bloodthirsty murder spree that will shock every citizen of even New York. You know, I can probably sell this movie to its unaware potential audience just by showing clips of this awesome little Elmer guy, voiced by the legendary horror host Zachary.
I want you to beg for it now.
Just like you're gonna beg for a brain.
Good. A little contest. I don't get a brain, you don't get my juice. We'll just see who cracks first.
Yeah, well, we'll just see.
If you aren't sold on this guy by that alone, then this movie is probably not for you. If you think this little bundle of joy is funny, then this is exactly the movie you need to buy right away, because this little guy is so much fun, and you are bound to want a little killer penis creature attached to your own body after seeing this film. The film makes the perfect use of him as they amped up the black comedy aspect of the story and made the entire thing into a fun black comedy that was not afraid to go into tasteless territory and do some crazy wild stuff you've probably not seen anywhere else. I'm not even gonna show some of the more out there stuff, as I doubt this video would be allowed to stay up on YouTube long if I did. But trust me, regardless of how many other movies you've seen in your day, this one has some stuff that will surprise you, in a good way. Other than that, the movie doesn't have all that much of a story to tell. It's simple, fast-paced, and does not waste any time in setting up the world or characters. And due to that, they are smart enough to not introduce the men in the film either. We have our main guy, Brian, played by Rick Hart in his film debut. He would actually go on to do quite well for himself on soap opera television shows over the years. I can see why he got more work after his performance here. It's a demanding part, and I think he was able to show that he could do both comedic and dramatic scenes.
So look at me. Listen to me, please. I know you're in trouble. I know something's happened to you. I know you need help. I just...
Most of the film is about the relationship between Brian and Elmer, and they are fun to watch together. Since they both need each other to get what they lust after, they develop an interesting bond. You could draw similarities between the Elmer creature and drug addiction for sure, but it never felt like it was something the filmmakers wanted you to sit and think long about either. It does make you wonder what you yourself would do if you were in the position of Brian though. This Elmer juice is portrayed as being the best thing in the world, and I had to wonder what I would do if I was exposed to it. Would you go as far as accepting the murders of others if you could experience this heavenly drug all the time? Brain Damage comes from the cult film director Frank Henenlotter. He grew up watching movies on the infamous 42nd Street in New York, and considered himself more of an exploitation filmmaker than a horror one. And he didn't take himself all that seriously, which is why he was able to provide so much fun with his crazy stories.
Elmer.
I'm not all that familiar with his films actually, as I only seen the first two Basket Case movies before Brain Damage. But that's clearly about to change after this delightful encounter. Yeah, no, I haven't seen Frankenhooker yet, I will soon though. Oh, and for fans of Basket Case, there is a special little cameo in Brain Damage that should make you happy. Looking past all the outrageousness the movie has to offer, Brain Damage also looks surprisingly nice visually. Usually films I watch that are set in New York at this time era go for a very grimy and sleazy look. And you would think with Henenlotter's background that he would get the same here. but there's actually a lot of colors to be found in Brain Damage, which gives it a nice little extra touch. I must say that Brain Damage was more fun than what I would have ever guessed it to be. This is a film I recommend to anyone with bad taste humor. I am happy to give Brain Damage a 4 out of 5. Have you seen Brain Damage? Was it as enjoyable for you as it was for me? And do you agree that there should be Elmer puppets available everywhere? The comment section is right below and awaiting your thoughts. If you enjoy 80s horror films, then make sure to check out my top 10 list, which I currently have available from 1980 and up until 1987, with more coming soon. As always, I want to thank you for watching my videos here on CinemaTerror. Every view and like are very appreciated. And with that, I bid you adieu.